look, let's turn to the Royals because Prince William has confessed to being a regular contributor to online fan forums for Premier League club Aston Villa, but under a pseudonym. Kinsey, what has the Prince actually said about this?
Isn't this funny? You know, this has been debated a lot on the Joe Rogan podcast, the idea of having to prove who you are online or sock puppet accounts. And this isn't the first time we've heard that Prince William has sock puppet accounts, but apparently he keeps abreast of, Villa gossip. As the chairman of the Football Association, Prince William is just obsessed with Aston Villa and wants to associate with the fans on this message board. So he uses this sock puppet account to creep and see what they're talking about and stay ahead of all of the messaging.
Oh, I just love this story because you never know. You could be on that Aston Villa fan page and you're talking to royalty, but you'd have no idea. I just think it's fantastic. Now, look, we've got to talk about these bombshell claims made in Vanity Fair about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Kinsey, there are so many huge revelations. Take us through some of the key claims.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I think that the biggest one for me is the idea that potentially Meghan Markle, according to Vanity Fair, a friend of hers was shopping around a book about what she would do post-divorce. Now, I mean, that's wild, the idea that somebody from her team would be shopping around to publishers a post-divorce book. That's been one of the biggest takeaways. One of my biggest takeaways was the fact that Beyonce rejected sitting down with Meghan for the Archetypes podcast. There were also claims that Prince Harry would rather just hide away in the house, maybe step out occasionally to do things for charity, and he'd be completely happy if Meghan Markle were the one to make all of the money in the family. And then more bully allegations, Meghan being called a mean girl. I mean, this was such a vicious read. If Harry and Meghan had issue with the Hollywood Reporter article, I cannot imagine how many dishes broke over the weekend in Montecito over this Vanity Fair.
Oh, look, these are huge, huge claims. And, I've got to ask you the question, Kinsey, where does this leave the couple now? Because it doesn't look good for them.
Well, it's my understanding that they're upset over it. I'm being told that things aren't good for them right now between Meghan's show being postponed, which I've heard was Netflix's idea, and just the idea that she has worked so hard to rebrand herself, and here comes a very respected publication reiterating some of the nastiest claims about her. So I think that they're bruised and they're sitting back trying to figure out how to process going forward, but going out and having their photo taken amongst the devastation of the fires did these two no favors. They're in a bad place right now.
Yeah, that's very clear. I agree. I don't think that the photo opportunities at the fires did them any favours either. I completely agree with you. Now, let's move on because rapper Nelly is standing firm after he faced backlash over his decision to perform at one of Donald Trump's official inauguration balls. Kinsey, look, the left need to get a grip. They're always so perpetually outraged about everything. But what has Nelly said about this criticism?
Yeah, I mean, he's argued that this isn't him making any sort of political statement whatsoever. He also joked that he didn't realize he had to agree with Trump's politics to be able to perform for him during his official swearing in. He said, I respect the office. It doesn't matter who's in the office. If they can put their life on the line for whoever's in office, I can make sure that I perform for whoever's in office. So I think Nelly's just trying to say, I respect the president, no matter who the president is. And honestly, we all should.
Absolutely. See, if it was for the Democrats, nobody would even bat an eyelid. But in the end, Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. People need to get on with it. Meanwhile, it's happened to singer Carrie Underwood. She's received mixed reactions from people for agreeing to perform at his inauguration. But Kinsey, stars have actually leapt to her defence here. Who?
Yes, so God Bless the USA singer Lee Greenwood said, it's going to be magic when we perform for Trump. He said, for those who have something negative to say, I say, keep it to yourself. Don't attack a friend of mine. Also, shocker, Whoopi Goldberg, who loathes Donald Trump, actually said, people do what they do for whatever reason. I stand behind her.
Absolutely. What business is it of the public what people choose to do in their professional careers? Honestly, the perpetually outraged. Thank goodness Donald Trump's coming in. Bye-bye with the perpetually outraged, I say. Kinsey Schofield, good to speak with you. Thanks very much for joining me on the show this evening.